I'm Dr. Renee. I've been using THINX period panties for about 4, almost 5 years now. I absolutely love that. First and foremost, because I'm not wasting money and gas going to the store to get pads, and I wasn't really a tampon user. I used them very rarely, so that's my biggest thing. Secondly, the way that pads feel, like you're always reminded it's there because you can feel it. I felt like I had a diaper on. I felt like everyone knew I was on my cycle because they bulged, because I'm a heavy bleeder. That's another good thing that you need to know. The third thing is they're great for the environment. And of course, along with saving money, I'm not ruining any clothes. I'm not ruining underwear. I'm not ruining my clothes because of the leakage, nothing. It's free bleeding and it's so amazing. No one would know I'm on my cycle unless I tell them. There's no odor, there's no leakage, and they're wonderful. And if you would like to try them out, $10 off using my link, and there is a money back guarantee if it doesn't work out for you. You can do that as well. But I promise if you try it, you'll fall in love with it. And there's a lot of other options out there. As a matter of fact, THINX even has other options that you could check out. Check out the website, shethinks.com/Renee, RENEE. Bye.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Ask Dr. Renee Show. I am your host, of course, Dr. Renee. Hi. And in case you've never watched the show before, this show is here solely to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve. Because let's face it, we only have one life and this is not a dress rehearsal. So we might as well live our lives now while we're here, not wait until something else or, wait until this happens. Live right now. My past guests have been some amazing people. Some you may know, some you might not be so familiar with, but then after you watch the show, I think you're like, oh my God, I need to start following that person. But some of my guests have been D-Nice. Yes, D-Nice of Club Quarantine. We've had Cassandra Cummings, which I see lots of the Stocks stars are here with us today. Cassandra Cummings has been on the show. My other coach, Jay the Trader, has been on the show. My favorite money coach, Draka Jones, has been on the show. Paul Carrick Brunson, Kwame, if you're of a certain age, you know who he is. Lisa Nichols. I'm trying to think real quickly off the top of my head. Last week we had D. Derone Golf. He produced Can't Be Good by Janet Jackson and Champagne Life by Neo. It was an amazing episode. If you didn't watch it, you should go watch it. But I am so excited. Today's guest is Ashnee House. Now, I have spoke her name so many times on the show in the last year that I was like, she has to come on. And she's always in the audience, usually saying something or doing something. Oh, by the way, we have super stickers. So please, if you'd like to, you throw us a little change, super stickers, because, I'm bringing you these fabulous people out of the kindness of my heart. And, but yeah, so I always talk about her. So I was like, she should come on the show. And she has an amazing story that I think many of you don't even know, besides the fact that she is the bomb options trader. She had, and wait, great educator too. But she has a story, and I want you guys to hear her story because I've learned her story just on bits and pieces she posts on Facebook. But I want you guys to hear her story. So thank you so much for joining me today, Ashnee.
Thank you for having me, Doc. How
So
are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. So before I forget, because I'm going to forget, hold on. I'm going to put a banner for you guys to make sure everyone, please make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. But Ashnee is from Miami, in case you all didn't know that. Ashnee's from Miami, and February of this year is when I had my very first show since July of last year. I took a long break. And I had a lovely young lady that interviewed me on my show. Her name is Elena, and she has her own blog, Elena Reads, and they celebrate their 4th anniversary this week. And so I'm going to give you just a quick snip, but this is special video just for Ashnee because she's from Miami. You'll see. Rick Ross, I read both of his books. One he wrote during the pandemic. Very good book. That one has like business tips. Like it's like 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. But The first one, it kind of tells you his story, and oh my God, I tell everyone I don't know this new hippity hoppity music. I'm an old lady, so I didn't know. I know who he is. I know him if he passed me on the street, but I didn't know about him except for he was from Florida. No, this man was. It was so interesting to hear about how he bought his house and did. Smart man. Like I said, I had no idea. Very good book, smart man. So, you guys, I need you all to go follow her on Instagram. She's trying to get 1,000 subscribers. She is 13 years old. She's going to be a freshman in high school next year. She's an amazing young lady. So please, you guys, just go and follow her on Instagram. So that's my plug for Elena Reads. So, Ashnee, please tell us, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Oh gosh. Never thought that I would be in the stock market. Never in a million years. Actually, I originally wanted to be a chef.
Oh,
I did. Yeah, I like cooking. I know your sister's a chef.
yeah.
And then I wanted to be a fashion designer, interior decorator.
Okay.
That was like my passion. Like I used to draw dresses. I drew prom dresses. I even drew like my own prom dress and had it made.
Nothing
Many
wrong with that.
people know that. And I said I wanted to go to fashion design school, but at that time I felt like, living in Miami, it wasn't going to get me the exposure that I needed to become a fashion designer. So I said, you know what? I don't know if that's for me. I may have to move to California or New York. And I wasn't ready for that. So I said, X that. I, just went for, actually, when I started, I went for psychology. I started psychology. Then I figured out I had to read a ton of books, which I'm sorry, but that's not for me. I will crunch numbers any day. And me reading a bunch of books is like, so I cut out the psychology and just went for my basic liberal arts degree, AA. Then went on to get my bachelor's in healthcare administration. Finally figured out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do something in the health world. Then from my bachelor's, I got my master's in healthcare administration. But when I finished my AA, I kind of took a pause before I started my bachelor's, and I went to get a technical degree in medical coding. And that's what started me in the dental field, actually. I landed my first job in dentistry. I was probably about, I don't know, maybe 21, 22, 23, something like that. And I've been in dental ever since, up until last year. So I was in dentistry about 21 years in dentistry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So she skipped some things.
I did.
How long have you been married?
Actually, this year will be 10 years.
Wow.
This year will be 10 years. That's kind of a long love story. Yeah. First
We
boy.
love a good love story, though. It gives me hope.
Yeah, it was it's long, but I'll give you the short version.
Okay.
So my husband now was my first boyfriend in high school. My first ever like real boyfriend. He used to come to my house and tell my mom, "Oh yeah, we're just friends, and we hang out, and we went to the mall all the time, and we caught the bus to the movies." And at the time, if you're from Miami, 163rd Street Mall, that was like the place to go to hang out and go to the movies. So we did that a lot. And that was high school. I was 14, 15. Of course, we broke up in high school. After high school, we went our separate ways, and he got married. I got married. We married other people and had kids, other people. And we saw each other when we were like in our 20s on South Beach at the time. He's probably going to kill me, but he was a bouncer in a club. And we were like 21, and I saw him, and I'm like, oh gosh, you think he's all that in the club, because he was all big and buff and just built and just cut right. And I was like, I'm not giving him the time of day. And I hadn't seen him again from that day until about 10 years later, almost 10 years later. And he's actually a martial arts instructor. He's a black belt. He teaches karate. And I took my two young boys, I took them to karate school to see if that's something that they wanted to do because they were interested in it. And I walk into class and there's my husband. And I looked at him and I'm like, is that you? And he looked at me, was like, is that you? And every day me taking the kids to class, he kind of, talked to me, eyed me down, and we talked and we went on our first date, maybe like a few months after that on Valentine's Day. And we haven't been apart since. And that's been about, 13 years, something like that. But we've been physically married for 10 years this year, it'll be 10 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
So Ashnee, what made you take Build a Bag?
Build a Bag. Okay. So for those that you don't know, Build a Bag is an options course within Stocks and Stilettos. It's a group where we have over 100,000 Black women in that group. And it's not just Black women. Let me just get that straight. We do have a mixture, but it's predominantly Black women in the group, just teaching how to invest. And it's founded by Cassandra Cummins, which is, our fearless leader.
Yes.
Who I think is actually brilliant.
Me too.
But it was doing.
She was on the Breakfast Club this week, in case anyone missed it.
Yes, watch her on the Breakfast Club, please. Yes. Go watch.
If you go to their channel, you will see they have the video. Her picture's on. It says Cassandra Cummings, so you can watch it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So during COVID, during the shutdown, everyone was home. And I actually, let me back up. During COVID, I was working in a dental office. I was an operations manager. And I used to work long hours. Anybody that knows me as far as work, I'm a hard worker. Like, I put my all into it. And there were times where I worked 12-hour, 13-hour days. Just work. Like, that's all I did was work. And during COVID, I had the chance to sit back and kind of like regroup and, think and look around and see that there's more to life than just working like a robot. Because, we're taught, you go to school, you graduate, you work hard, and you're rewarded if you work hard. So that's what was instilled in me. That's what I saw in my mom. My mom was a hard worker. My mom worked all her life, and that's what I did. And during COVID, I was out of work for 6 weeks. Well, we had the opportunity to be at the job because some dental offices were open just for emergencies. And at first I went, the first 2 days we shut down and it was so overwhelming. I was the only one at the front, all of my employees were out and it was just me and an assistant and a doctor. And we're talking about, I'm covering for 5 offices and I'm talking about busy offices. And that phone was ringing off the hook. And I had never got anxiety, but I got anxiety. And I was like, oh, no, we're in the shutdown. You know what? Everybody else is home. I'm going to stay home. So I stayed home, watched all the memes on Facebook. Oh, we're going to be fat by the time we eat all the COVID snacks. And I say, you know what? I'm not going to spend my time, my 6 weeks home, just scrolling Facebook, Instagram, doing nothing. I always had in the back of my head, I wanted to learn about stocks. So I started looking up stocks, just kind of teaching myself, looking at YouTube videos, reading books. And I stumbled across Stocks and Stilettos and Cassandra. And I say, let me join this group because I was actually in a couple groups, but, none that I felt was replicable. So I was like, you know what? Let me find something I feel like I can really attach myself to. And I saw this Black lady, somebody who looked like me, this cool chick, and she's giving out information for free. I was like, you know what? Let me join this group. Let me join this group. Join the group. Got good information. And she announced that she was doing this options class, which was called Build a Bag. And I've been seeing options pop up because at that time I had TD Ameritrade account and Robinhood. And I would see options and I wanted to try it. And something kept telling me to try it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should leave that alone. That looks complicated. So I did. And that was August 2020 when we both took the class. Many of you don't know, that's how I know Dr. Renee. We were both in the class with Cassandra 2020, Build a Bag 3.0.
Mm-hmm.
And I just took it and ran with it. I went back to work and I was still in Build a Bag and I was determined to get this. You know, I said, I'm going to get this. My Facebook time, my Instagram time. I put a timer on my phone. I gave myself an hour a day on social media, literally. And that's all I did. When I went back to work, when I got home on the weekends at night, I don't have any babies, right? I don't have any little kids. All my kids are older. And that's all I did. I studied. So I studied and and started doing my own little groups on the side. I know it wasn't kind of loud, but I was like, you know what, Janae? Because Janae was our buddy.
Yep.
Janae was our buddy. And I would send Janae messages like, you know what, Janae, I think I want to hold a Zoom meeting because I was so eager. Like I was learning so much. Like Cassandra taught us so much, but I wanted to know more. And, in doing that, and, I started, holding my own little group, just trying to have like a nice little study group so we can, advance and ended up mastering options.
No, so she master options. She literally, we would be sitting there on our Zoom calls with Cassandra and she would just pop in, yeah. And I'm like, who is this girl? And why is she like killing it? I mean, did anyone have any wins this week? And I was just like, who is she? And what is she doing? I was like, oh, did you start with 500 or more?
No, 500.
Okay.
500.
So she started with $500, which is what, if you take the course, which we'll talk about that too. But if you take the course, that's what you're told to start with is $500 in your account. Now, God bless her. She really was in love with the hood. And so
you know what? And I still love the hood.
I know.
You don't know, Robin Hood is the hood.
Yes, I know. I know. Look, they need to give you something.
They need
let me help you out. We can maybe get that figured out because they'll hook you up. But so she would do a lot of trading on Robinhood. And, but she was just steadily going and just building and building. So we get to the end of the class. The whole thing is you're supposed to get $500 at 5,000. She says to me, I think I got it, but I was using Robinhood too. And I was like, okay, well, idiot, take the darn screenshots and send them in. Don't sit there and say,
let me say something.
I'm not going to say anything. No, because we had a thing called Fast Cash Fridays. And to get into Fast Cash Fridays, you had to make the 5,000. And I was like, girl, you better get in there. You can get in there. So she was like, okay. And they had a deadline on you submitting your stuff. And I'm like, girl. So she did.
Say something.
She finally did. She's like, Dr. Renee said I should. I knew you should. I was like, and I knew that they would add it up and it would make sense. I knew it was going to come out right. So sure enough, she had made the 5,000. But I knew she had because there was one day in the middle of class, not end of class, the middle of class. She's like, oh my God, I just made $10,000 today. I'm like, you did what? I was like,
that?
who is this girl? Like, what is she doing?
Yep.
And I mean, in class, Cassandra would start asking her, so what do you think? And what did you see? And I'm like, isn't she just one of us? Like, all of a sudden she has authority. Like, but she was like killing the game like that even so a good teacher is when the student becomes better than the teacher. If you tell me, and who says that all the time is Jay the Trader, because he has created some very, very serious futures traders that I think are far better than him, but he taught us. So yeah, she was literally sitting there and was answering the question. And I was like, oh my God, like, what is she doing? So I blew my mind. Mind you, like she said, working a full-time job. And I mean, she worked long hours. Once she had to go back in the office, she would be at work for a long time.
Long time.
And I was just like, how is she doing this? And then anyone who trades options knows that you kind of want to pay attention. Like, you can set alerts and stuff, but you do kind of want to pay attention. But even working the full-time job, she was still killing it.
I'm talking about running offices like just, I have a doctor in my ear, I have patients on the phone, I have employees not showing up or calling out sick. And it was just like, my life was chaotic at work. And that was like right after COVID. So that was the worst time, because before COVID, it wasn't as bad. I was honestly right before COVID. I'm going to back up a little bit. Right before COVID, I kind of started getting bored with what I was doing, because I had been doing it for 21 years, right? And so, honestly, everyone knows that, I love Jesus, okay? And I prayed and I said, you know what, Lord, lead me and direct me on where I need to be, because I'm really bored with what I'm doing. I've been doing this for years, and I just really want to do something different. And that was right before COVID. I was looking up real estate. I was going to take a real estate class. And that was like January, February. And then COVID hit like, March.
Right.
And that's when I was led into stocks. Don't ask me how, when, where. It was the Lord, because I had prayed for it. And I just, took it and ran with it. I just really like buckled down. And a lot of people get into options and think, okay, well, they're going to give me what to trade. I'm going to make all of this money and I don't have to put in any work. You have to work at it. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it can be done. It can be done. Like you said, there are days where, I've lost money. I mean, that's just the name of the game.
Right.
That's just the name of the game. But
the
there's
whole
money
thing is to make sure that you win more than you lose. Because you
Correct.
are going to lose, but you need to make sure that the averages work out, that you have a higher win rate than you have of a loss rate.
Correct. And that's what we do. We teach you, that risk management side, how to mitigate your losses, right? So, I don't know. I just took to options and I just loved it. And I love numbers, and it just worked for me. And we graduated together in December that year.
Yep.
And that's actually when because we were
wait. So right before that, says Draca just came on. I said, Draca, there's a girl in my group. She is killing it. I was like, because Draca, if anyone watched that interview, Draca made her 5,000 in 3 weeks in Build-A-Bag. So Draca knows options too. So, and she's futures queen as well. So I was like, Draca. And she is your budget queen. If you need somebody, you need to go hire Profit on Prosperity. That's Draca's company.
Yes, she's budgeting.
Yes, the queen of budgeting. She will find $1 out of the midair. So Draca, I told her, I said, there's a girl, when I tell you she is killing it, like, oh my God, she really knows these darn options. It's ridiculous. And I go, she knows them so well. Cassandra calls on her when we're on. Like, she really knows what she's talking about. She's like, well, introduce me. So I introduced them via Slack. And then we started a little group, and we go back and forth. And I mean, you guys, I was like, no, you two need to know each other, because
and that's how I met Draca, through you.
Yeah.
And I knew who Draca was, because Draca
everyone talked about
that. Yeah, she's within that financial, it's a small little.
Plus, I mean, we're all, because Cassandra lets us all, we're all still, even though we're alum, we're all still on Slack, and Draca's still on Slack and Build-A-Bag too. So we're all there. We just might not say anything, but we're all there.
Yeah.
And Draca was there. She just didn't say much, but she was there. Yeah. And so, like I said, I just sent the message like, you two need to know each other. This girl is no joke.
And now we're like besties. That's like my sister. Like, we don't call each other a lot, because this is the funny joke. If I call Draca, I have to really like not be doing anything. Like, because we literally do not get off the phone for like 2.5 hours, every single phone call. So it's like, okay, I got to be prepared to talk to Drake because those phone calls with her, and it's like, it's crazy. We have so much in common. We have so much in common. So yeah, Drake, that's my sis. So thank you, Dr. Renee, for introducing me to Drake.
I am the connector. I try. But yeah, these ladies, oh my Lord, I was like, no, they were like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get on. And I was like, huh? Renee, and you're gonna do this. And then I was like, okay. And we would get on and we would be on Zoom for like half the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Half
Long
the
Zoom
day
calls.
would be gone. And we would still be sitting there. Now, mind you, me and Drake got 2 computers open because we trading futures on the side. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, they were on Zoom with me when I passed the $100,000 combine. Remember?
Yes.
I go, Drake, I think I just did it. She goes, share your screen. So then I had to, of course, switch the Zoom account to the other computer. She goes, yeah, you did it. I was like, oh my God.
I remember. And as a matter of fact, you ladies helped me at the start of Build a Bag. So let me back up a little bit on how I became a teacher. We graduated in December 2020. And at the time, because those of you that don't know, Build a Bag it's a large course. It's hundreds of women. And January 2021.
Men and women, she does allow men in her class.
Well, yes. Okay. So Stocks and Stilettos is a group for women, but Build a Bag, we teach men and women. So we do have male students. Well, January 2021, the class was over 700. It was over 700 people in that class. So Cassandra have what's called buddies. And the buddies break out into sessions and kind of answer your questions. And they hold 2 meetings per month.
And we have smaller groups. So therefore, the big 700, like me and Ashnee, I think our buddy group maybe had 150, maybe 200. It was not as big. Maybe 100 of us even.
About 100.
Yeah.
About 100. And when January rolled around, Cassandra had, offered me to become a buddy. And I said, you know what? I might as well. I'm doing it anyway. Like I'm everyone is, in my DM and asking me questions. And I'm like, why not? I like this. I like what I'm doing. I might as well get a little compensation for doing it, right?
Right.
So I became a buddy in 2021. And that was Build a Bag 5.0. And that was crazy for me. Crazy. Because buddies actually do not teach. So buddies are not there to teach you. They're to, just answer your questions and kind of help
things up.
Exactly. Well, I was like full-fledged teaching class. Not trying to. Like, it wasn't my intention, but I just was so passionate about what I was doing. Not trying to, and then everybody.
I kept telling people because people were telling me that they were in 5.0, and I was like, well, who's your buddy? They say Ashnee. I was like, oh, well, girl, you good. They're like, what? And I go, no, you are good. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to. And and everybody was like, oh, I want to be in your class. I want to be in your group. And I'm like, Cassandra's like, no, listen, we're going to cut this off because you have too many people in your group. And no, it was like, I think I had like 160 people. Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. And Melanie's in the house. Hey, Melanie. She's from 5.0. And
Cassandra's watching.
Cassandra, hey, Cassandra. Listen, it was really crazy. And later on, Cassandra came out to Miami, I think in March. And we met up and we had dinner. First time we met face to face. And she offered me a full-time position. She said, you know what, listen, Build a Bag is growing. We want to get, the word out there to as many ladies as we can, and we can change lives. And, and going into it, that's what I wanted to do. Once I saw that, I can make money, I can do this. Like I'm making like my biggest day in one day, was like $14,000. I had a 5-figure day. And once I did that, I was like, oh, wow, like I can teach this. Like if I can make
And you
$15,000
guys,
in
and
one day.
that didn't take a lot of time either. That's the biggest thing. That didn't take an 8-hour workday.
No, no. That when I made that, that was probably, I have to go back and look, but it was sometime in the morning. It was before lunchtime.
Yeah.
It was early in the morning. And I'm like, if I can do this in one day, then I can extend this offer and teach as many people as I can. Like, I have a big heart and I like to help people. And that was my goal, to help as many people as I could. So I started, hitting up my friends and like church friends and my family, and they're like, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. And some people thought I was trying to sell them stuff, and it's like, no, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I am trying to teach you what I've learned. Like I have this dope Black chick, Cassandra Cummins, Stocks and Stilettos, joined the group. She taught me this. And, this is a life-changing experience, right? This is something that I've learned that no one can take away from me. These are things that they don't teach us. They don't teach us these things in school. And this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to make awareness of, there's a whole world outside of just working a 9 to 5, working like a machine.
Right.
So she offered me this job in March of 2021, last year. And I said to myself, I was like, she crazy. What's wrong with her? This lady crazy? I've been on my job. I've been working with this company for on and off twice, about 17 years. I'm not going to leave my promising career. I'm making okay. I'm making good money.
W-2, her salary
manager, I'm the boss. And I'm like, I'm going to leave that to go work for. And I was, some of you may not know, I was Cassandra's first full-time employee. So she had like part-time, she had her A team. Hey, Alicia.
And
Andrea. That's her A team. And they've been working with her for a long time. And she was talking about bringing me on. It was going to be full-time. And I'm like, oof, that's scary because I'm going to be her first full-time employee. How is that going to work out? And I already been working with her as a buddy part-time. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And then I kept battling back and forth, back and forth. And one day I sent her this long message, was like, I'm not doing it, this and that, this and that, this and that. And she got on the phone and called me right away and was basically like, look, I'm from Oakland. You gonna do this or not? In so many words. In so many words. But I kind of felt like I was like, okay. She was like, She was like, I ain't having that. Listen, no, you gonna do this. And I finally accepted. And, I just prayed and I said, I hope this is the right decision. And I kind of didn't want to do it because the unknown. But you know what? I'm a prayer and I have faith and hope in anything that I do. And I don't do anything without consulting God. And when I did that and I, consult my husband and we talked about it, and I'm glad I did. That was like the best choice, like 2 life-changing events, me learning options and me working for Stocks and Stilettos. I that was the best choice ever. And I'm glad I did that. And it took me a while to kind of really accept, and for me to leave my full-time job. It was really hard. It was really hard. But at that time, I was kind of like tired of my job anyway, because it's like I've been doing it for so long. And then after COVID, things got worse. And it was just like, oh, COVID. And, I'm just working so hard. There's so many people out because they're sick. And every time someone sneezes at the front desk, it's like, no, you're going home for 2 weeks.
Right.
So it was just all of that. I was just like really tired and I accepted. And now I'm director of operations of instruction and teaching the Build a Bag class. And now we have another coach, Coach Dana. Woohoo! She's teaching with me. But this is really life changing. Like when I tell you build a bag, you know, when I tell people about it, you know, some people are kind of like weary because they're like,
No, people think that, and I mean, we black people, people think that we gambling. We're not gambling. We're not gambling. We're not at the roulette table. We're not, we're not blackjack. We are not gambling.
yeah.
This is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And what I try to explain to people is what Cassandra and Jay, by the way, they will both be on Black Doctor with me. Well, they'll be right here. You guys tune in right here Thursday.
I have to link up with Jay. I have to. Both of us are from
Oh, yeah,
Miami.
you're Miami. That's right.
I have never met Jay. I took Jay and Cassandra class at the same time. But I started both, and I paused Jay's class and ran with options and never went back. And I keep saying I need to get into.
Oh, she'll be back. She'll be back. But this Thursday, you guys, right here, tune in 3:00 Pacific, 6:00, 5:00 Central, and 6:00 Eastern. I will have Jay the Trader and Cassandra Cummings talking about it's Financial Literacy Month. So we're going to celebrate that on Thursday evening. But Jay, they literally, he says, and Cassandra too, you can literally work without worrying about another individual ever again with the information that they teach. You can make money independent of anyone. So you don't have to worry about owning a business and having clients. You don't have to worry about a boss telling you what to do. With this information, Monday through Friday, and futures, we get to start on Sunday nights. Sunday through Friday, you can make this money. Futures, you can do futures well into the hours of the morning, night. It doesn't matter. Unfortunately, options, we do have a cutoff at 5:00 p.m. Eastern time. The markets close and we're done. But with futures, ask Draka Jones, go back to her video. Draka used to trade, well, she usually trades futures after her children go to bed, which is after 10 o'clock at night. So that's the thing. You don't have to worry about anybody. And that's why it's such a game changer. And as we've said, they're not teaching us this in school, nor are they teaching us this anywhere else. And when I say they, you know exactly who I'm talking about. They are not teaching us. Nope. They're not teaching us. Yes, set a reminder. If you hit the notification bell, you guys will know exactly when I go live on Thursday. My executive producer, foodie engineer, aka Chef Alicia Nicole, is typing in the chat. Thank you. But yeah, you guys, I'm telling you, it's a game changer for people who have not taken the class, any of these classes. You don't understand why that they are literally somebody was keeping this information from us.
Yep.
And you don't need $1 million to start. You heard us say $500.
I can go into the market in 3 minutes, depending. Like I can literally pay a bill in 3 minutes. Like no joke. I can pay someone's mortgage in 3 minutes. Like it's that serious. Sometimes I wake up and sometimes I may trade a lot. Sometimes I may not. You know, just like tomorrow, I'm going to SeaWorld. You know what I did Friday? I said, you know what? Today's winnings is going to be for me taking my mom to SeaWorld Sunday. She had surgery last week. And I said, you know what? Let me just get her away from life and what's going on right now. I'm going to pick you up tomorrow. We're going to SeaWorld. So when we're done with this meeting, I'm picking my mom up and I'm going to SeaWorld. And that's because, and I'm not spending anything out of my account. It's everything that I made in the market on Friday. Right. So I literally would go in the market and say, you know what? I want to do X, Y, and Z. Let me go in and pull a contract, sell a contract, day trade a contract, and boom, $300, $400, $500, $1,000, $2,000, depending on what it is that, you trade. But I mean, it's life-changing. Like it's something that you learn that you can take this and you can actually live off of it. It takes time, study and practice, but it is doable. It's something that anyone can do. If you put your mind to it and you focus, it can be done. It can be done.
Totally can be done. And, there's people who would do the same, with gambling. There's a different risk and reward over there. But this is the stock market. We all know that the stock market is going to open every day. Every day it's going to open.
Every day, every day.
Every day it is going
And
to open.
what's most rewarding is when I get testimonials from students. And like you just said, who said, Jay or Cassandra said that, when you have students that excel,
Mm-hmm.
or make more than you or exceed you. And I actually have a little contest going with one of my classes because I have 3 classes. And it's called Beat the Coach. So we live trade every week. And if we're live trading and someone makes more money than me on that live trade, then we reward them. Because I want to see them win. I want to see these ladies win. I want them to grow. And I have testimonies all the time. I just got one recently. I'm not going to call her out because I know she's like in the background. Phyllis, money bag Phyllis. That's one of my students that when I tell you she's a beast, like she's a beast. And it's like, it makes me feel good because it's like, she's one of my students. And I'm an aggressive trader. When I trade live with the ladies, I try not to be as aggressive. I really do. I
Right.
really do. And I struggle with that. But when me and Phyllis are trading, it's like,
Oh, she's here.
Phyllis is there.
Yes.
Money back Phyllis. Quick testimony from her. Our stock babe, what we love to trade is Tesla.
Yep.
Tesla, that's what made me money. That's what makes the money, okay? But you can't just go out and trade Tesla. You have to have a PhD in trading Tesla to trade Tesla, okay? And I think we've mastered it. And another one of my students, Doreen, she's mastered trading Tesla too. But I think I got a testimonial from Doreen. She had a 5-figure day a few weeks ago. We're talking about, we were trading Tesla in, I think this was December. Phyllis, I think, had we traded about 3, 4, 5 days. Within that time frame, she made about $22,000. $22,000. Okay, within like a few days. And that's not the first time. And I'm like, wait a minute, I made a little bit less than you, but you made more than me. Come on now. But I'm like, I'm happy.
Right.
I'm happy, right? Because guess what? She's winning. And that's what I want to do. I want to see everybody win. And some it may take longer to get the skill than others. That's fine. Everybody learns different. And it's hard when you get that FOMO, fear of missing
once you get it, I mean, you got it. Nobody can take it from you. So
exactly.
That's the whole thing is, however long it takes you, just make sure you get it, because once you get it, no one can take it from you.
Yep.
It is a skill that you will have forever. And you can teach your children, because like I said, they didn't teach us, but hey, now we can teach our children and children's children so that they have this information. Because think about it. There is a student of Jay's that his mother had to talk to the school so he could go to school later because he trades futures. He has a time that he trades them. I told you can trade them all night, yes, but he trades them at a certain time. So he has to go to school later. The boy, I think he might be a freshman in college now, but when he took Jay's course, I think he was a sophomore in high school. So he was making bank like that. He already had like 2 or 3 combines too. So he's not even trading his money. He's trading other people's money, making hundreds of thousands of dollars with their money. He could pay for his own college education.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Which is why it's important for us to learn this, so we can pay for our children's education. We can buy homes, cars, buy car, whatever it is, property. But we got to keep teaching others. And that's why I'm so happy that you said, okay, this is something that I'm good at and I can help other people, because we need people to be able to teach us. Watching what everybody's doing is great, but we need people to teach us. And so that's why it's great that you and Jay and Cassandra are like, okay, that I learned this, now I can go do this and I can teach other people so that other people can learn, and just keep pulling and grabbing people.
And that's the goal.
So the other thing was that Ashnee didn't say is that before she accepted the job, she called me and was like, so Renee, what should I do? And I go, what? What are you talking about? So Cassandra, I was like, what?
You was like, wow, really? Congratulations. I'm like, no, don't congratulate me yet. I'm calling to get advice.
So yeah, I'm glad we could get you where you're supposed to be. And then I'm like, okay, so when you quit your job, look, we
I
just
know.
Ray could have quit hers, and we could, right?
That was a struggle. That was a struggle. So for
Yeah,
me to be
I
able
get
to
it.
quit,
Yes, we and my sister, Chef Alicia Nicole, we got to get her to quit hers too. But these comfortable W-2s that people are used to. I get it. I got it. I understand. I
uh-huh.
always tell her when my job quit me, I'm not sure that I would have had the courage to quit it, but it quit me. And then I just never looked back. That was 2013. And I'm like, we're good. We'll figure it out. But and now I'm very glad that I have investing because oh my God, long-term investing is fabulous. And when I'm 70, it's gonna look great. But
Mhm.
today, as Cassandra says, now money, we need now money. Like you said, you want to
Exactly.
take your mom to SeaWorld? I need to pay this bill. I need to pay that bill, or whatever it is. You need now money. You need
Yep.
today. I got to go get new shoes. You need today money. So now money is so amazing and wonderful.
Yeah.
So Build a Bag has cycles because you've heard us, Nate, like we were in 3.0. My sister was in 7.0. So it has cycles. They are coming up on another cycle.
9.0.
9.0. We will talk about that on Thursday. So make sure you guys tune in Thursday and we will make sure if you have not, because there's a lot of stocks to stars here, but the ones that have not taken Build a Bag yet, make sure you tune in Thursday because we will have information for you to sign up for it on Thursday. So the links aren't hot yet. You can't enroll just yet. But you can enroll in pre 5K, right?
Pre 5K is only for students that have graduated from Build a
Right,
Bag.
but I'm saying that's open enrollment
Yep,
right
it's
now,
open
right?
now. Yep.
Okay, so you guys make sure you get into the Slack and pay attention. Pre 5K is amazing. I will tell you because I've experienced it myself. The live trading that's in that one or the other one.
It's in pre 5K.
Okay.
And
That
elite.
is, oh my God, it is a game changer. A game changer. So, not even in there. One day we were on, because I told you we would have these marathon Zoom sessions. Remember the day that we sat there? I don't even remember what we bought, but all I know is it went up like 700, 800% in like seconds. I was just like, oh my God, click, click, click. Get me out, get me out, get me out.
Yep. And that's the thing, like with Build a Bag right now, we live trade, and live trading is day trading. We do day trading. And you have
Day
to kind of
trading means that you go into a position, you buy an option, and you sell it in the same day. Swing trading is if you swing it over into the next day, or maybe 2 days later, 3 days, or maybe a week or 2 weeks. And then leaps are long term. So I have options that I bought in November of 2020 that don't expire till January 2023.
yeah.
So now you guys have a
Which
little
I
window.
can't do. I can't do. I can't do
Don't
leap.
say can't. You haven't done yet.
No,
Don't say
it's not.
can't.
I have. And
Oh,
it's just not for me. I want my money now. Like you
I
said, now
understand,
money.
but we gonna have to set up your retirement stuff. So yes, okay.
I need to. You're right. I need to start putting
Yes,
leaps
your
in my retirement
grandchildren
account.
gonna want grandma's money, so you
Yeah.
gonna need to do that. Yes. Okay. Okay.
It's so funny because, we just had a leap class. Coach Dana taught a leap class in my pre 5K class. And we were talking about leaps. And it's just like, I know leaps will change my life, but I just, my mentality, I mean, you're sitting there, you're waiting on a leap to pop. You want what, 300, 400% out of a leap, 500? I don't know. What's the average? I don't know. Maybe 3, 4, 500%.
Right.
If I can, when the stock market is like good, I can get 300% in 5 minutes. Why should I wait 3
I know, but
years?
Ashnee, but look at the leaps though. The leaps, if we spend like $1,500 on a leap and we get 300%, come on, let's do the math, sister.
I could spend 500 on a few contracts. I could spend 1,000. Give me an Amazon contract.
Dana, I tried.
I can make $3,000 in 20 minutes. I can't just, I can't.
But the thing is,
I've
you buy
tried.
them and you put your alert, your stops in, and you just don't worry about them. Just close. You just go and do your day trading. So then it just makes its thing. Okay, then you don't worry about it. Just do it and don't
I'm
worry
gonna
about
try. I'm gonna get back
it.
into it. I'm gonna
Click
get
it
back.
and forget it. Just
Click it
forget
and
it.
forget it.
Yes, click it and forget it. But let me remind everyone again, you can purchase super stickers because I think Ashnee has been quite a gem today, and we would so appreciate it. But somebody said, I feel you, Ashnee. I want my bread now. Doreen said that.
Oh, Doreen.
And yes, you are right. Tam Nelson, you can cash out the leap early. Yes, you can. Yes.
Yes, you can, but I'm just impatient, I guess,
I
with
understand. I understand. I
just holding it that long. Just that long just makes me like, but I guess you know what, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
I mean, you have to diversify, right, Cassandra? You have to diversify your portfolio. And so this is something else to diversify things.
You're right. You're right.
Yes.
Leaps are coming. Leaps are coming in my account one day. Leaps are coming.
And futures is coming too.
After futures.
Yes. And I told you, futures, you don't have to use your money. You can trade other people's money and just make your bank on top of their money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish
And
options would do that. That would be so awesome.
I would encourage anyone that wants to try build a bag. Start with getting into the stock market. Just buying a couple stocks and just holding them and just start with, because Cassandra always says, I think you need to be in it at least 9 months. I wasn't into stocks in 9 months before build a bag. So it really depends on your determination. Because I had just started stocks in April.
Right.
And the class was in what, August? So that wasn't a long time. So I didn't really know nothing about options. And options are, when you first get into it, it's complicated. It's like a whole nother world. But we have Build a Bag boot camp. So that kind of prepares you for the actual Build a Bag class. But I would just encourage you to just start small. Start small, buy a couple stocks, watch the charts and the candles, just look at it go up and down. And kind of do some research, and then you'll kind of get accustomed to how stocks work. And then take the Build a Bag boot camp and you'll be ready for Build a Bag.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm telling everyone, please make sure you tune in Thursday where we will have Cassandra and Jay. It is going to be awesome. And if you have any questions, you could please throw them in the chat now if you have any questions. But I will also, like I said, we'll have questions, Q&A also on Thursday. And no, and I will say right now, in case anyone is watching the replay or anyone here has not taken Build a Bag, it is not free. And because Cassandra has an A team and Ashnee and Christy and Dana, and she has a lot of people. She needs to pay her people, and their time is
People
valuable.
don't value things that's free.
It's funny,
There's
they
no
don't.
value.
They don't. You're right.
There's no value. When we're doing free lessons, I feel like, people don't show up, or, they kind of slack off. But when you pay for it, it's like, oh, I paid my money for this. I'm going to get my money's worth.
Right. You're right.
So,
and I always tell everyone, waiting is not a wealth strategy. I had Cassandra on January of last year talking about Build a Bag. And I believe Build a Bag might have been maybe $800 in, I think, maybe. That's not how much Build a Bag costs now. So.
No, when we took Build a Bag, I paid $600.
I know we took it with $600, but last year, 2021, I think it was more than that, I think.
Yes.
Oh no, 2021. So I know when Alicia paid more than we paid. My sister paid more than we paid. And then this last group, they paid more than that. So I'm telling you, waiting is not a wealth strategy. Same with Jay the Trader. I took the course. I paid $200 and some. Jay's course now is 4 or 5 times that.
You know what? And it's worth it, because you have to think about this. When I took Build a Bag, and even right now, there's so many other courses out there. I see, people are selling option courses. And let me just tell you distinguish between us and some courses that I see. with us, we have that support, that community, not only through just Slack, but when you're in the class is 5 months. We're not just giving you videos and making you watch videos and figure it out by yourself. You're not figuring it out. You have ample amount of time to get this information from coaches, from myself. So the first month that you're in class, you meet with me twice a week, live. So we're on live. I'm teaching live. You can ask any question that you want. And then after that month, that's when the buddies come in. And twice a month, the buddies are live with their groups. So, and you can go to any buddy session. So you have like 12 times a month to be on live with someone to ask your questions and get knowledge of, the skill. So I think that's the difference. We have so much live support. So you can't expect, you know, for it to be, $2.99. I mean, come on. We're giving you the support that you need. I mean, you can always come on the Zoom and ask us questions. And on Thursdays, I have what's called office hours, where it's your time. You can ask me anything that you want, anything, any question, any comments, any concerns. And even we have a chat that's called, in a Slack chat, in the
Yep.
Slack group. You can ask questions in the group. So we have that community support, as well as, we have that hardcore instruction that we give you that first month. And a lot of these classes, they give you pre-recorded videos. You can't get in touch with instructors, and I think Jay as well, his class live, he has every morning live class.
No, it's
And
videos. But you can get in touch with Jay. But I mean, but there's so many people that have taken it now too. So
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, I think that's what distinguishes us, is we have given our students the chance to succeed by being there for them. And
Right.
I think that's what some of the other groups may be lacking. I can't speak specifically on everyone,
Right.
but I
Oh,
do.
Dr. Pam Middleton, she said Ashnee was my buddy.
Oh, hi, Pam. I think I used to joke with her because that was my maiden name. I
Oh,
used
really?
to, uh-huh.
That's too funny.
That's the
My
maiden name.
sister said you can share your screen and work through your questions. Yes, that is true. In the buddy sessions, and even like when I wasn't a buddy, but I was like, Janae, I have my Zoom account. Some of the ladies, and I would get with the ladies in my group and come on, let me help you, because see, there's a little competition involved too, and I don't like to lose. So I was like, let me help these ladies so that they don't make our team look bad.
Yep, yep. And
But
we put
yeah,
so much time. Yeah, I just saw, I'm just in the chat.
But yeah,
Listen.
there's other classes that cost a whole lot more and you're not getting more. There's classes that cost less that aren't giving you more. And so I'm telling you, this is and it's amazing community. Once you're part of the community, you're part of the community. So,
Yep.
you are a graduate of Build-A-Bag. And so you need to I highly suggest anything I bring to my show is something that obviously I have done, know about, or encourage you to do. And this is one of those things. So I am so glad that Ashley took the time to chat with us this afternoon.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you for having me.
of course, of course, of course. I know what I forgot though, but that's okay.
Chrissy just put in the chat, there's so much time and dedication invested and shared in this program. Christy is one of my assistants,
Yes.
Christy and Danielle. But that's true. There's a lot of time invested in this program. So
Yes.
thank you for having me, Dr. Renee.
You're welcome, everyone. Hopefully I will see everybody Thursday right here. But if not, I will see you next Saturday, same time, same place. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.